Okay, so here's something that might come in handy if you don't like these types of questions on the ACT, the inequalities and equations in the number line. And you can actually do them on the TI84 calculator, some of them. And these are all your more difficult questions. I think these go from 55 to about 58. So, you know, they're up there in difficulty. So let me show you how you would do this. Number 55 says, which of the following number line graphs represents the solution set of the inequality 2x squared minus 7x is greater than 4? So you can go to, well, I've already pulled it up, but let me quit it and then just show you where it is to start from. Right, so you go up here to y equals, and you just type it in as is. So you go 2, x is up here, the squared button is over here, and then you'd hit minus 7x. And then to get the inequality, you hit second in math, and it comes up with all these operations, and we need greater than 4. And then if we graph it, you see it comes up with this here, and you can see this is, if this is that little dot there is 1, so that's about a half, negative a half, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we look at the answer choices here, you see that A is negative a half 4. So I actually drew out the line. So, and none of the other ones really come close. Or maybe that negative 2, 4 comes close, but you can see there, I think it's pretty easy to see that it's, that's a negative a half. So that gives you the answer right away. Pretty good, because it only takes a couple of seconds to stick it in y equals. All right, so let's do the next one. We'll go to y equals and clear that last one out. And it says, which of the following is the graph of the solution set? And then it's the absolute value of x minus c is greater than or equal to 2. So this is how you can do these ones. Let me get a pen. Just choose values that are true for x and c, right? So x minus c has to be greater than or equal to 2. And we can see here it's all like 2's and 2's and 2's and 2's. So 2, if we make c minus, c2, right? So we'll get x minus 2 is greater than or equal to 2. That should give us what we need, but let me just see it. So to get absolute value, you go to math, go over to number, hit absolute value, and it comes up there. So we're doing x. And the y equals, it won't recognize any other letters. You can't put in y, I couldn't put in c, it has to be x, it won't recognize anything else. Or I haven't found a way to do it anyway. Minus, and we'll put in 2, since that's the only other number that we've been given here. And then we'll hit second math, greater than or equal to, I could have just hit 4 rather than scrolling down, 2, and then we'll graph that to see if it gives us a general graph. And you can see there, it gives us, the line stops at 0, and then it starts again at 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've said that c equals 2, right? So, and we're looking for something that has this gap. So this has a gap, this doesn't. This only goes one way, it's out. This only goes one way. This has a gap. So this one doesn't have a line though, so I think that would make that one out. Because it just has 2 points, so that one's out actually. And so that leaves this one. And it looks like it's, if you plug in c, for here you get c minus 2, so you get it at 0. And then it'd be 2 plus 2, and then it'd be 4. And we see from the graph that it actually does that. It's 0, and then it has a gap of 4, and then it starts up again. So as long as we know what c is, we can plug it back into the little points it gives us on the number line, and it solved another one without any real problem. And it was variables. I mean, that's a nasty question. It's a number 56, and we just had to pick a number. Here's another one that's kind of similar. It's x plus b this time. It says, whenever b is greater than 0, which of the following real number line graphs represents the solution for x to the inequality absolute value of x plus b is greater than or equal to 4? So we're going to do the same thing. We'll get to y equals and clear this out. And we'll make b equal to 4. Because that would make it true. X plus 4, you know, something plus 4 would be greater than or equal to 4, right? Because if you make x 0, it's still equal to 4, and then if you go up from there. So we're going to make b equals 4 because it solves, it's true for this little equation we have here. So we'll just plug that in. We'll do math, number, pick one for the absolute value, and we'll put in x, because it recognises that, plus 4. And we'll hit right arrow to get out of the absolute value brackets. Come over to second, math. This time I'm just going to hit 4 to get the greater than or equals to sign, and then hit 4, and then let's see what it graphs out, and if we can see. So let me see. We might need to change the window size because it's only showing us. So we'll make, it's got the x minimum is -1. I think I did that for an earlier question on something. So we can just make that -6, so it goes further to the left. And then hit graph. Nope, it still just gives us a, well, maybe we need to make it bigger, hang on. Make it -10. Maybe that's what we need to do. Let's see if that helps us. Aha! Now we can see the whole thing. So there we go. It starts at 0 and it has that gap. So this one has the gap. This one is solid here. So no, this one has a gap. So we'd have to check that. This one only goes one way, and this one has a gap as well. So let's see when we put in b, because this looks like it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's -8. And then it's 0, right? It starts at the y-axis, so it starts at 0 and goes on again. So the gap starts at 0. So if we take b equals 4 and we plug it in here, we would get, for b, it's -b, -4. So we would get -4, -4, and that equals -8. So that satisfies that bit. And where it starts, right here, is 4 minus b. 4 minus 4 equals 0. So it actually gives us that graph, so it would be A. We don't have to really test the other ones. So yeah, that's pretty neat for these kind of difficult questions. That's a 57 level question. And again, we've got another one just for some more practice. Why not? And this is a good one because it shows you different numbers. We can plug in different numbers. So for this one, oh, I like this one because this is something you need to see. We've got, which of the following number line graphs shows the solution set to the inequality, the absolute value of x minus 5 is less than -1. So if we plug that in, we get math, absolute value, and we could do, we can do 4 and 6 because it's given us those numbers, and we can do 2 graphs. We don't have to do just one. We can do what would 4 minus 5 look like when it, and let's do less than is 5, -1, and then we, oh, how did it do that? That was clever. Oh, for Pete's sake. -1. And then we can come down and do that again, math, number, absolute value, and do 6, because that's the 2 numbers in the answer choices. So we'll see if either of them satisfies it. Is second math and it's 5 for less than, -1. And if we graph this, you can see these little dotted lines up here. It means it's thinking, and now it's stopped thinking, and it's given us nothing. And you might think, well, it doesn't work, does it? But look at the answer. The actual answer is K. Is K. It's the empty set. It actually doesn't work. So that's why it didn't give you an answer. So just in case you get one like that and you think, it doesn't work, if you have this as an answer choice, the empty set, then your calculator was actually right. And you can trust it and don't think it's not working. It's that this isn't something that can be plotted out. So that's just a little video on how you can use your TI84 calculator if you don't like doing these kind of inequalities. As I say, they're all difficult questions, so if you get one in the ACT and you're not sure how to do it, then at least you can have a bash with the TI84.